If America can't manufacture a war in abroad, if America can't manufacture a war abroad, they'll manufacture a war in the streets. And we've seen this happen if you have open eye and discernment. And if you've even watched the show Snowfall, that pretty much it Snowfall will give you a deep a more insight into what kind of what I'm speaking of, on how America itself, they make money from wars. You know, a lot of money comes from these things. Funds this machine that you have, that's Uncle Sam, or the American government and all these big corporations and things. It keeps this stuff spinning. This thing we call capitalism. America has been involved in a lot of foreign matters of other nations and other countries. And you got to ask yourself, is it all for nobility? Is it all just to seem noble, or to be righteous, and to be a protector, or is it for gain? Now, when you don't have, you have to look at America when they're not involved in some war, or going dropping bombs on a group of people, or interfering with things like that. When that's not going on, they manufacture wars in the streets here, domestic wars. You know, that's why you think that these things don't have anything to do with each other. But when you in the ghetto, or you see dudes in the hood or killing each other over blocks they don't own, neighborhoods they don't own, you see the crack epidemic that happened. That was just like, again, on Snowfall. You see who's the guy Teddy, and who's behind that, the intricacies working behind the scenes of the surface level of niggas killing themselves. You know, going like, even to this day, you go into some O Block projects and niggas like that, Magnolia projects and things like this. Man, you think that people not that you think it's just the brothers who they're, you think it's them masterminding and orchestrating the whole structure as a whole to keep the system of producing people killing themselves, impoverished people killing themselves, and having more children to do the same thing. In turn, producing more people for the system. Like, you'll be amazed of these big corporations that meet together to manipulate, they meet together and speak and have discussions to manipulate, move around, and influence groups of people, large bodies of people. Yes, at one time. Yes. And a lot of people don't want to believe things like that, or when they hear that, they try to run from it because it's, I know that's scary to them. I know that's scary to you to hear things like that. I know it's spooky, but that's the way of the world. It's not the way that you've been taught. Like, everything is all sweet and gumdrops. No, you born into this modern day slavery system. Uncle Sam is a damn crook. The IRS is the mafia, bro. They want your money, man. They got all type of loopholes and things to get your money, bro. Putting you in, like I said, you on a hamster wheel with them. Like, you didn't earn this money, bro. You nigga own your own house. Now you still gotta pay property taxes and taxes to Uncle Sam, you sales tax. Bro, like, you getting enough money. But again, and they want more. Like I said, then they demanding the blood of your children. You got people who been over here, who been in the fought in the wars and in the army, been in the military, and they'll tell you the horror stories and things like that. Not saying that everyone there is bad. Some good men and women out there, and salute to them. But the system itself, it's throwing our men and women to things, maiming them, allowing them to, to be harmed. And then they come back and can't even get proper assistance. It's throwing them into things that don't even have nothing to do with them. It's getting them involved in stuff that don't have nothing to do with them. They should never be involved in. But your agenda is to produce the money. It's an agenda of Uncle Sam. And Uncle Sam is like your broke damn uncle. That nigga, Uncle Sam is like your broke uncle who ain't, who always borrow money from you. And when you come into him and you need something, he like, I ain't got it. But the war, you pay attention. Like, look at what happened with the COVID, with the when you had a lot of Democrats and liberals talking about defund the police and things like that. What do you think's gonna happen if you start taking away the police and law and people like that who are willing to enforce it? You get what you had in California. You get what you had during the time where people was out there protesting and rioting and things like that. That's what you get. You produce things like you produce an environment such as that. And all it was is you have a bunch of people, producing, being the driving force for a smaller group of people who gain in everything, who are gaining from you dying. Like, you basically their foot soldiers. You become their foot soldiers for the war in the streets, because right now, they can't go do one abroad, or they hadn't orchestrated any, or nothing's going on right now, so they have to manufacture one in the street. This happened with the crack epidemic. Again, watch Snowfall. If you don't like to read or study history, that'll produce, they have media that shows you these things. Look it up on YouTube if you want to. You don't have to take my word for it, but you have to do some searching if you want to get the hidden knowledge, the things that's not on the surface level. They're not just going to tell you that, what I'm saying? You can find it. The information is out there, but you have to look for it. You saw this again recently. It's not, you saw with the crack epidemic. You saw this. Of course, this was already happening before with the with the racist, the separation between whites and blacks. Slavery. We were basically brought over here as the slaves, produced the free labor. You didn't need the war was basically between was a race war. It was a race war going on. Satan orchestrated these things, of course, because you never heard about race or white and black into antebellum slavery. It's the only time you had tribal wars and things like that. You've always had that. But this race thing came from the antebellum slavery. That itself was a war in America. This coming off the Dust Bowl, and when American immigrants was impoverished, niggas was what was that? The Great Depression. You had a lot of stuff going on. America was in its conception. Money wasn't just prosperous all across the board. Niggas having disease. So they used blacks as the labor force. Free labor. Free, if you can get things for free, that's the come up. But fast forward, like I said, to just recently, when you had people, these liberals talking about defunding the police, you see them making a lot of laws to create division, not to create unity. You see people talk. They made a lot of laws. They use the media creating the division, not to create unity. What do you think the end game of that is? The war in the streets, to produce for a smaller group of people who manipulate the systems of this world, the system of this country, and then of the world. They manipulate the system of this country, and that blueprint and these systems are used throughout the world. This is Satan's blueprint. You can get that through your head now. We're going to start wrapping this up and bottlenecking and getting to the bottom of who's really behind this. This all leads to Satan's agenda. You understand? Because on the surface level, you think everything's normal. On the surface level, some people, like I said, they'll never see this, or they don't think about things like this. But oh yes, they'll tell you everything looking good, or we going to war to go help people and do that, when it's all about money. They'll tell you that, we looking out for the American citizens and all of that, but you don't know it's a group of people behind the veil that's meeting big corporations. They meeting and manipulating big groups of people, Americans alike. It don't matter. So just go ahead and pay attention to these things and don't be a part of it. I refuse to be your foot soldier. You understand? Now, if it's something where it was a direct attack to me, like somebody is directly attacking America or directly attacking me and mine, then it's on. You understand? But I'm not fighting for Uncle Sam. You understand? I'm not being in the streets being manipulated like a nigga come drop off drop off the pill package. You understand? Drop y'all some fentanyl package, the fentanyl package. You know, you don't know where these dudes coming from. Niggas don't know. Niggas can't manufacture no fentanyl. Niggas don't know how to make that stuff. Niggas ain't making meth. Like, you know, not niggas. Now, don't get me wrong. You have some straight up just trailer park rumble tumble white dudes and stuff, and other people who can make, you know, impoverished people who can make meth. But still, it's other things like fentanyl, these pills, these substances, and we not manufacturing that stuff. It was the same with the crack cocaine. You know, I mean, and the coke, all the coke coming in and import. You see what Teddy is doing. It's the guy from the CIA, and he over there dibbling and that, manipulating everybody over there in the other countries, in the impoverished countries, manipulating them, moving them around. You understand? Moving them like pieces on the chessboard, all for the gain of the dollar. You understand? All to bring it home. Bring it home. You feel me? So with that being said, it's your man Nico B. Black Effect. Gone.